Ruined by a customer, this vintage wedding dress was looking so sad, but it is now time for the final update. After many attempts, I couldn't remove the staining, so I decided I was going to dye it black, and the first stage was this silvery color. The gown itself is a silk and polyester blend, and although this color was beautiful, it was not my end goal, so after I got a new dye pot from the thrift store, I decided to start with iDye Poly. I was determined to get this gown as pigmented as possible, and this stuff definitely seemed promising. Following the instructions, I used 2 packets of dye and let it sit in the pot, stirring occasionally for about an hour. I was really nervous about this because it had to be at a pretty high heat. Considering it was even dyeing my wooden spoon, I knew that we were in for a promising result. After thoroughly washing it and hanging it out to dry, it was time to take a closer look. I needed to check for any mending or repairs. For example, like this basting stitch that somehow magically appeared. Thankfully, it just needed to be removed and didn't do much damage, but there were areas of the seams that needed to be reinforced along the waistline. This part ended up taking me way longer than I thought it would. But I used my sewing machine with a zigzag stitch, where I set them wide enough to hit on either side of the original stitch, but close enough together to support each other. So now you can see before with the light coming through it, and then after once it's supported. Definitely did the trick. Now are you ready for the end result? Here she is, in all of her dark, dramatic beauty. Some call her the Phoenix, risen from the ashes of a terrible experience, and her silk embossed sleeves are now considered her silver lining. I also decided to try a few waist belt pairings with this. Let me know if you like the look of any of these. I thought it might be fun to see what some of the options could be, but I'm most excited for somebody to make this gown their own. I also really enjoyed playing around with some themed photo ideas. My imagination has been going wild with what this gown could look like, given the right environment. This was definitely a first, and now she sits in my store waiting for her second chance.